Yes, well, I have.
Keaton,
Please, please.
she was something of a fashion icon
Oh, no, you're absolutely wrong.
that made Keaton's career.
After the funeral, Diane Keaton's daughter finally broke her silence. What she revealed next left everyone, friends, fans, even Hollywood insiders, completely stunned. For years, people whispered about what really happened to the beloved actress in her final days. But now, for the first time ever, her daughter is speaking out, and what she says changes everything we thought we knew about Diane Keaton's death. This isn't just another celebrity story. This is a daughter's heartbreak, a family's hidden truth, and a legacy that refuses to fade quietly. Stay with me, because the truth behind Diane Keaton's final moments is far more emotional, far more human than anyone imagined. To understand the bombshell Dexter dropped, we have to go back, way back. Diane Keaton wasn't born into the silver spoon of stardom. She entered the world on January 5, 1946, in Santa Monica, California, as Diane Hall, the eldest of 4 kids to Dorothy, a homemaker with dreams of her own to further her family, and Jack Hall, a civil engineer whose quiet ambition mirrored his daughter's future grit. Growing up in the sun-baked suburbs of Los Angeles, young Diane was a dreamer. She devoured books, sketched fashion designs, and staged impromptu plays in the backyard. But beneath that whimsical exterior lurked a restlessness, a fear of being trapped, of choosing safety over spark. Her mother, Dorothy, became the blueprint. Dorothy Keaton Hall was a force, a former photographer who traded her Leica for aprons and PDA meetings after marriage. Diane later confessed in her memoir then again, Mom chose family over her dreams. She was the best mother, but that's why I never married. I didn't want to surrender my independence. Those words echo like a prophecy. Diane bolted for New York at 21, shedding her surname for Keaton to dodge confusion with another actress. She crashed auditions, waitressed in dive bars, and caught the eye of Woody Allen in a Broadway review. The rest? Cinematic history. 1972, The Godfather. Diane as Kay Adams, the poised outsider thrust into mafia mayhem, her wide eyes betraying quiet terror. It was her breakout, but off-screen, she was navigating her own chaos. A whirlwind romance with Woody, all neuroses and notebooks. That birthed Annie Hall in 1977. She won the Oscar, the first woman to do so for a comedy. On stage, accepting in a menswear tuxedo that screamed defiance, she quipped, I knew I'd win because Al Pacino told me to break a leg. The crowd roared, but privately, she was unraveling. The pressure of genius, the glare of fame, an gnawing void. No partner ground her, no children to fill the silence. Through the 80s and 90s, Diane reinvented herself endlessly. Reds in 1981, earning her a second Oscar nod as Louise Bryant, the fiery journalist. Baby Boom in 1987, where she played a career woman turned accidental mom, art imitating the life she craved. Romances flickered, Warren Beatty, Steve Martin, Al Pacino, each intense, each ending in amicable drift. I fall in love with every man I work with, she once laughed at Vanity Fair. But marriage? That's the trap I saw in my mother's eyes. By 50, the tabloids whispered, is Diane Keaton's clock ticking? She ignored them. Instead, she dove into real estate, snapping up historic homes in L.A. and turning them into quirky sanctuaries. She authored books, Between Me and You on Photography, then again on grief after Dorothy's 2008 death. She even dabbled in winemaking, bottling her zest for life. But the pull toward family grew undeniable. In 1996, at 50, Diane adopted Dexter, a bright-eyed infant from a Los Angeles agency. It wasn't an urge, she told Ladies' Home Journal in 2008. It was a thought I'd nurtured for years. I plunged in. 5 years later, in 2001, Duke arrived, born February 8, 2000, a chubby-cheeked bundle who completed the trio. Single motherhood in the spotlight? Daunting. Paparazzi stalked their Pacific Palisades playscapes. Nannies came and went. Yet Diane made it work. Mornings meant organic pancakes, and readings of Where the Wild Things Are. Afternoons, impromptu photo shoots with her vintage Polaroid. Evenings, movie nights dissecting Casablanca, or her own films. They have no interest in what I do, she beamed in a 2007 People interview. Which is healthy. We live a sort of normal life. Dexter, named after the train from the Family Stone, another Keaton hit, grew into a poised young woman with her mother's wit and none of the baggage. She studied environmental science at UCLA, married Jordan White in 2022, a low-key affair with wildflowers and indie folk tunes, and now advocates for sustainable fashion, channeling Diane's eclectic style into eco-conscious lines. Duke, the quieter sibling, pursued music at Berklee College, producing lo-fi beats that blend jazz samples with electronic haze. He once posted a track on SoundCloud titled Oversized Hats, a nod to Mom's signature look. Rare public glimpses, the 2017 AFI Gala, the 2022 TCL Chinese Theater handprint ceremony showed a tight-knit unit. Diane in menswear, kids in casual cool, all beaming under flashbulbs. But perfection was a facade. By 2020, whispers circulated. Diane, ever the shutterbug, posted fewer Instagram grids of her fixer-uppers. Red carpets saw her lean on canes disguised as fashion statements. Friends noticed the weight loss, the fatigue behind the smile. In the Envelope podcast that year, she brushed it off. Aging? It's just more time to read bad scripts. But Dexter knew better. As the eldest, she became the gatekeeper, fielding calls from concerned co-stars, managing Diane's erratic sleep. Duke buried himself in studio sessions, but family dinners grew strained. Mom's always been private. Dexter shared in a rare 2023 Vogue feature. But lately, it's like she's guarding a storm. The storm broke in early 2024. A routine checkup at Cedars-Sinai uncovered it. Stage 3 ovarian cancer. Aggressive. Insidious. The kind that masquerades as menopause symptoms until it's too late. Diane's team, publicist, oncologist, and a no-nonsense holistic advisor, locked it down. No press releases. No GoFundMe, please. Just a war room in her airy kitchen. Maps of treatments pinned like movie storyboards. Chemo sessions at dawn, masked in oversized scarves. Experimental trials at UCLA Medical Center, blending Western meds with Eastern herbs. I beat the odds before, she reportedly told Dexter during a midnight infusion. Annie Hall was a neurotic mess who won big. This? Just another script. Publicly, she soldiered on. The eyewear collab would look optic in August 2024. Bold frames echoing her 70s vibe. The Hudson Grace Home line in December, complete with pet bowls for her beloved Reggie the dog. Even a cameo in a Netflix rom-com. Her lines delivered with that trademark deadpan. But privately, agony. Nausea that stole her love of cooking. Hair loss hidden under turbans. And the fear not of death, but of leaving her kids adrift. What if they think I chose the spotlight over them? She confided to Duke in a voice memo, later leaked by accident to a family album. Duke, heartbroken, responded with a new track, silent reels, lyrics aching with unspoken goodbyes. Dexter became the anchor. At 28, she paused her fledgling brand to move back home, turning the guest wing into a recovery nook. She sourced adaptogen from Santa Fe healers, negotiated with insurers like a studio exec haggling residuals. Jordan, her racer husband, ferried them to appointments in his sleek Tesla, blasting sleeper soundtracks to lighten the mood. Duke contributed playlists, Ella Fitzgerald croons masking the beep of monitors. Yet cracks formed, arguments over alternative cures, Diane's insistence on improving elixirs clashing with Dexter's data-driven pleas. You're not a character in one of your films, Mom. Dexter snapped once, tears streaming. Diane, ever the director, shot back. Then let me rewrite the ending my way. As 2025 dawned, hope flickered. Scans showed shrinkage. A spring trip to Tuscany, Diane's treat, funded by residuals, saw them toasting under olive groves. Dexter posted a cryptic Insta to plots that twist. But by summer, the cancer rebelled. Metastases to the liver, palliative care at home. Diane, bettered but unbowed, dictated letters. One to Woody, you gave me Annie. I give you this, live messy. To Al Pacino, Kay never left. Neither did I. To her kids. Don't mourn the icon. Mourn the woman who burned her toast but loved fiercely. October 11th, 3:47 a.m. Dexter at her bedside. Duke on the other. Reggie curled at her feet. Diane slipped away peacefully, morphine easing the final breath. No dramatics. Just a soft exhale, like the end of a reel. The funeral was Diane to the core. Intimate. Idiosyncratic. Forest lawn, sun-dappled lawns. Under a canopy of jacarandas. 50 guests max. No phones, no photos. Merrill read from Heaven Can Wait. Bet sang a husky, You Made Me Love You. Duke played at last on acoustic guitar, his voice cracking. Dexter, in a black turtleneck echoing Mom's uniform, delivered the eulogy. She taught us independence isn't lonely. It's a choice. Poised. Perfect. But as the casket lowered, mahogany, engraved with a single-camera lens, something shifted. Afterward, in the crypt's antechamber, Dexter lingered. The family friend, a silver-haired producer who'd known Diane since Reds, approached. You okay, kid? She nodded, then pulled a folded letter from her clutch. Diane's handwriting, shaky but bold. Read this later. Diane had instructed, when it's safe. Dexter handed it over. It's not just cancer, she whispered. She hid more. For us. The friend scanned it, eyes widening. Later, in a hushed L.A. cafe, Dexter across from him, Duke via Zoom, the truth poured out. Ovarian cancer was the killer. Yes, but the truth Diane buried? A lifetime of choices laced with regret, amplified by a hidden genetic bomb. Turns out Dorothy Keaton Hall hadn't just deferred dreams. She carried the BRCA1 mutation, the breast cancer gene very notorious for ovarian risks. Diane tested positive in 2019, post-mastectomy whispers after a routine procedure she downplayed as fashion surgery. Why hide it? Fear of a narrative shift. From quirky icon to victim. I didn't want pity parties, the letter read, or headlines screaming Keaton's curse. I wanted my story to be joy, not genes. But the deeper revelation? Diane's final months weren't just physical war. They were emotional reckoning. She confessed to Dexter, in fevered whispers, the real reason for single motherhood. Not just independence, but terror. Terror of passing on the gene. What if I doomed you, she'd sobbed. Dexter and Duke, adopted, were spared the hereditary shadow, a deliberate act of love Diane never voiced aloud. I chose you because biology failed me, the letter continued, not because I didn't want blood, because I wanted better than my fate. Dexter revealed it now, voice steady. Mom died thinking she protected us, but she also died alone in her choices. The truth? She was scared of legacy, of loss, and she fought like hell to shield us from that fear. Duke, on screen, nodded, tears silent. She left us tracks, clues in her films. Kay in Godfather, the outsider who stays. JC in Baby Boom, the mom who builds from scratch. The friend, sworn to secrecy, leaked it selectively. First to people, then a Doka podcast. Dexter's interview dropped October 16th. The truth about her death? It wasn't sudden. It was 79 years of defiance against a ticking clock she knew was there. Cancer won the body. But Mom, she won the soul. In the days since, the revelation ripples. Hashtag Diane Truth Trends. Fans dissecting her roles for hidden depths. Dexter launches a Keaton Foundation. Genetic screening for families. No stigma attached. Duke drops an EP. Final cut. Proceeds of cancer research. Hollywood honors pour in. AFI retrospective. Tribeca tribute. But the real win? Diane's wish granted. No pity, just power. She once said, life's not about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. Dexter echoes it now. Mom danced through hurricanes. And in revealing this, she teaches us truth isn't a burden. It's the hook that pulls us forward. Diane Keaton didn't just act. She lived, raw, real, relentless. Her daughter's truth? A final scene that steals the show. Rest in peace, Diane. The reel spins on.